The journey so far has been very tough. It's actually been very rough, and I must confess that we are not close to the destination. Not that we are not even yet at the destination. We are not close to the destination. We have been experiencing 2 steps forward, 5 or 8 steps backward on many of the fronts of governance in Nigeria, and more importantly, at the level of corruption, illicit financial flow, and abuse of office. It is such that we have completely lost even some of the tiers of government that are meant to deal with the concerns of citizens. So you go to the local government as it is today, you don't have semblance of governance, happening there. So it is either the officers are not democratically elected and simply just appointed by governors. Even where they are elected, you don't see them delivering on the basic responsibilities. So you don't have primary health system functional in many of the states, if not all the states of the federation. You don't have primary public education also functional, which is where almost an average citizen would prefer taking the children and wards to private schools. You don't see any form of involvement of local government in security for the local communities. Yeah, you can't see the garages and markets, fulfilling the purpose for which you would expect the normal garages and also markets as they're managed by the local government. So, I mean, that aspect of governance that is directly impacting on the citizens have been completely compromised by the state government. So, we're very far from our destination, and it's unfortunate that as much as the citizens are yearning, the media are reporting, the civil society are advocating, the politicians are actually not yielding.
From your tone, will you say there's a regret? Have you regretted involvement in this? Does it seem that you're not encouraged? Are there elements of regrets?
No, there are no regrets at all, no iota of regrets, because I am convinced that without the involvement of the civil society and the media, making continuous and conscious demand on the politicians and the political elite, the situation would have been worse than what we have currently. And I have some kind of, we've experienced quite a lot of setback in terms of other further political harassment, detention of some of our colleagues, including myself. You've had all manners of, intimidation. But it is one of the things that we signed up to. I mean, there are those who would possibly regret because it was seen as, a kind of a source of living. But for those of us who had the experience of the students' movement involvement from the higher institutions and also graduated to this level, it's actually not a regret, but it is just the challenge that we must stand up to. Malabul experience is one of the most remarkable experiences for many of the civil society organizations that would really genuinely commit to a cause and we want to see it to fruition. So the Malabo experience, I mean, this is a case that has been that we've been involved with now for the past 80 years. So this is a case that is involving nothing less than about 5 countries, jurisdiction, and at the same time, governments. This is also a single contract that almost started from the period of 1998 up until now, and it is still on. This is a contract that has cost Nigeria technically about $15 billion, which would have been the proceeds from that. The only single block with the highest volume of oil and gas in the country, but that some of Nigerian citizens who were expected ordinarily to have protected the interest of the country but chose otherwise than to compromise the interest of the country for personal selfish gain. So you would be shocked to realize that Nigeria only got to realize just $250 million from the deal, where individuals have gone away with about $1.1 billion, um, and at the same time, private jets were bought, luxury cars were bought, yachts and all the rest were bought when the country was at the point of its greatest needs for survival. Um, it has been so far the EFCC, particularly before now, and I think up until now, has been so really remarkable and commendable in terms of pursuing the case and at the same time investigating. So we have three court cases ongoing in Nigeria involving almost all the characters and companies that were involved in the deal, including the former Attorney General of the country, Mohamed Bello Adoke, the oil companies and their subsidiaries in Nigeria. Sadly, there was a judgment that was not favorable in Italy on the prosecution, but there's still room for appeal between the Court of Appeal and also the Supreme Court on the matter. The Dutch prosecutor had also indicated interest to prosecute Shell as a company on the case. Unfortunately, Shell chose to go to court and plead what is called the lawyer privilege and whatever as part of a defense in the decision of the prosecutor. It lost that action at the first court, but it's gone on appeal for that. So Nigeria is also challenging JP Morgan Chase, the bank where the money was moved to the account of individuals, to have the $801 million transferred to the account of Daritete and Malabu in Nigeria, recovered for lack of official authorization to embark on that transfer. The country is also part of the Milan prosecution, also asking for damages for the period that it's actually had the oil redundant and also some suspected corrupt practices associated with the deal. So, so far, we have actually assisted and worked with the EFCC, the Italian prosecutor, the Nigerian government, in not just only conducting some of the research work, but also some of the advocacy and observation of the court process, to ensure the proceedings are also alive for Nigerians to understand the implications associated with that deal. I mean, everybody just thinks, oh, this is another corrupt deal involving Nigeria. But part of the thing that we succeeded in unveiling around that deal is simply the fact that the corruption that we talk about is not just about Nigerians alone. It's that there are other, not just individuals from Italy, the UK, and other parts of the world, but also some of these companies are culpable in either inducing or compromising or conspiring or enabling some of the corrupt officials that we have around the offices